supposed to go skating tonight. I don't even know if they were open because of the Super Bowl, but I decided to stay home because I have so much that I want to accomplish, guys. My birthday is coming up. I'm going to be 47 years old. I've been on this beautiful earth for quite a while, and I can remember being a kid like it was yesterday. I really dig our youth because, oh my goodness, the stuff that I'm just now learning at the age of 46, our elders should have been told us that. This should be something like we as parents have the authority to pour into our children whatever we want. And I see a lot of, I don't want to offend anyone, but my purpose in life is to improve on how things are. And I have to bring this up. I mean, the whole point of making these videos is for conversation. So if you're here watching, you're watching because you want to get to know me. And I need to get comfortable with speaking to people. I mean, speaking to a number of people. Intimate conversation is easy for me. I don't get tongue-tied. You guys might notice I look up a lot because I'm aware that I'm speaking to my phone. I'm not talking to anyone. I'm talking to myself. But I'm going to share this information with you, so I need to start looking at myself as I'm looking at you. But in order for us to, or for you guys who are going to, work with me in any capacity, you should know who I am. When you do business with someone, unless you're all about the money and you really don't care about how you get it, business is also relationships. I'm here in Henderson, Nevada. It's, close to Las Vegas. People who are here, they know. But for my lovely family back home in Pittsburgh, it's like, right next door. Pittsburgh and Wilkinsburg, And it's so funny because working in McKeesport, when we would come over to Homewood, the kids would be so excited, like, yes, we're going to Pittsburgh. And I'm like, you're going down the street. So Henderson is, you cross the street and you're in Las Vegas, just depending on where you cross the street at. But I love being out here. The sun is wonderful. The culture is very different. I miss, the culture back home. There was a lot of it. Those are things I miss. Even though there's a lot of families here, there's a lot of businesses here, I feel I haven't been able to truly find the culture here. I miss, the museums back home. And the libraries here are pretty good. I mean, they are. But the sense of community it's not the same here. And I've only been here coming up on 3 years, so maybe I'm prejudging. But anywho, just continuing to do what I've done, since I was 30 years old. So a good, sorry, not 30, about 29, I believe. I don't remember. I know I've been educating youth since 2000. So yes, 21 years. Should have just went with that. But been a mother for 30 years now. And, coming out of an era where I saw our music go and our culture go from positive and uplifting to, y'all know where we are, degrading and materialistic, it pains my heart. And I see it in everything. I see it in, those closest to me. I see, the distraction of the world in, our churches, in our schools. Everything's changing, and there's nothing wrong with change, but change should bring improvement. And yeah, that's not happening. Our sense of community is so broken. And I find that going out into the community now isn't just a gathering. It's a roundup so that we can hand out things. And that shouldn't be. If folks are, struggling, I feel like, community centers and churches should be there for that. There should be like a community chest or something where people can go, if you're short on your paycheck or whatever, and you just need toiletries or whatever it is for your house. You lost your job or money's tight and you need school clothes. Those things should be freely given. There are so many of us that hoard. We have clothes, we have things that we don't use, toys, things like that just sit in our houses and we don't use. And that's a pain in itself because we pay for it. And we could be using our money for so much more. Growing up, I wanted to do gymnastics. I wanted to go to the Olympics. I wanted to dance. And for us, I've seen in our culture and it's just not our culture, but when adults are struggling to pay bills, it's like the things that delight a child, that make a child feel good, that a child is interested in, gets pushed on the back burner. You're told, I can't afford it. Or, honestly, a lot of kids don't even think about stuff outside of being on a computer or phone and just watching a screen all day. We've lost that sense of activity in our lives. Our kids, well, myself, when I was a child, we would go outside all day. Coming in the house was like, oh, I got to go in the house unless you had to use the bathroom or, you were tired. You wanted to eat, you wanted to come in. And when you're younger, you want to stay up, you want to stay out all night. But when we become adults, then, we have to be responsible. And I found growing up that the fundamentals of adulthood were not poured into me. And then coming into my teen years, when the crack epidemic hit, it was they should have called that the pandemic. Like, it's ridiculous. I watched, friends my age, boys, selling to our parents, and just, we've all seen New Jack City. That was real. That was real. And, what we did with the money destroyed us even more. Buying clothes, splurging on food, taking trips, hotel parties, buying jewelry. I do, know that some people did use their money wisely and a lot of people paid the cost. A lot of my friends died and, went to jail on the RICO Act, which was weird to me because to be a career criminal, you should be old enough to sustain a career. And my friends were young, under 18, definitely under 21. And, it's just so disheartening to see us continue to decline spiritually. The mentality that you got to get yours before somebody gets theirs. And not everybody is this way, but that's my cause, is to bring awareness to the things that we really have to stop doing if we're going to be happy. I don't know how good you guys feel when you go shopping. It might satisfy you for a minute, because I used to be a shopper. I used to, get my hair done, weave it every week, every 2 weeks, get my nails done. And then I would look at what it amounted to, how much money I was spending opposed to how much money I was investing. And the return on weave is what? Even if you get a good weave, you could reuse it, but how many people are going to buy it? And then we throw that weave away and it's in a landfill somewhere. The chemicals that we use inside of these products, they're not even good for us. And then we get into our late 30s, our 40s, and how we feel, how we really look. I feel awesome, becoming vegan almost 3 years ago. It took a lot of determination and willpower not to eat meat, not to eat any dairy. The first week I did eat eggs until, my husband brought it to my attention. You're not vegan. You're still eating eggs. And I'm like, and eggs were my favorite. But, I'm a life coach. And in order to be a life coach, I have to be the example. I don't want to be hypocritical and say, oh, yeah, you need to do this and you need to do that. One, there's no set rule for any of us. We all have our way of doing things. But one thing that is universal is if you know it's wrong, you should stop. And two, if you know it's right, you should do it. And a lot of times we just become complacent and do what feels good to our flesh. I'm not rocking this necklace or my earrings because they're cute, even though they're beautiful. This is, rhodochrosite. It's kind of like a love stone. My African turquoise, guys, I'm sorry. This is new to me and I forget, the healing properties and things that come from all of them. But I've read them and they're all good. If you want to know, if you're interested in any of them, please let me know. I mean, in my ankh, it's just a reminder of life. I see people with the cross and, I just want to tell them why, or what it represents. We look at it and, it's kind of, we think it's a good way, but to think about the crucifixion of Jesus, it's not a happy thought, but to think about the knowledge he had and his purpose in life. We already know people gonna kill you if they're afraid of you, if they feel like, you're gonna ruin what they're working on. But this is why I love the ankh. The ankh is just life. It means life. Jesus lived and still lives. And I am trying to get to a place where, Jesus is. He studied in the mystery schools. Jesus knows who he is. Jesus is God. I am God. You are God. But a lot of us don't believe that because we're still waiting on God. We are God. We are God. We can do whatever we want. And I'm going to show you guys. And coming to this realization in the last few years has changed the way I walk completely. Like, I miss my kids. I miss my family back home. But I feel like the universe separated me from them because for so long, doing the work I did in the community, I saw that my ideas were different. And I didn't want to just have events that pacified us. I truly want us to get to, the nitty gritty of why we are where we are. Our history of how we dug ourselves out of the mud coming to this country as slaves, and having everyone around us against us. It was horrible for everyone. But coming out of pain is growth. That's strength. That's how you build your muscle, your spiritual muscle. So going through hard times isn't a bad thing. It's, just part of life. And we are more than this flesh. We are spiritual beings. There's a spirit in this body. When you kill someone, the body fades to black. But where did that consciousness go? Do you ever ask yourself that? What do you think? And what do you know? Because to assume something, when you assume, educate yourselves. And I'm not saying that in an arrogant way. I'm saying it in a, aren't you hungry? Aren't you hungry? Are you guys really satisfied with living 40, 60, 70 years and by the time you're 70, you're old and crusty? That won't be me. It will not be me. And oh my gosh, guys. Whew. I just, the sooner we get it, the better off we'll be. If I could have got this information, as a child, and getting it at 46, I missed out on giving it to my children. And I thought I was, I was giving them the best, but I wasn't giving them the best. I was giving them the best that I had at that time. But what I have now, and it's hard to give it to them because, they're adults. They're, who they want to be. And once somebody, gets comfortable with that, it's like, oh, you know how they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks? That's not completely true. You can't teach an old dog who doesn't want to learn anything new tricks. They just want to lay there, you know? But we complain and, we talk about, things that we don't like. Why are we talking about what we don't like instead of how to fix what we don't like? That needs to be the conversation. We get on social media, and this is why, up until now, I haven't been very boisterous, but the universe is calling out my tongue. And I love all of us. I truly do. I truly, truly do. I just, I've been a loner for so long because we don't love back, even though we think we do. A lot of us can't, even if we think we are, because we're not loving ourselves. A lot of us say we love the skin we're in, but how many of us truly rock only the skin we're in? Makeup is a fad, and it's cute. It's cute, but for what we're shelling out for it, and this is the part that kills me. It's external, it's material. I hope you guys, don't look at me and say, I don't like her dreads, or I don't like the shape of her face, or the fact that you can see my bottom teeth more than you see my top teeth. People will hate on you for so many crazy reasons, and we need to stop. We really do. But the point is, we complain about our position in this world, in this country, but we don't look at the fact that we invest into things that aren't assets. Like, I'm getting ready to take my insurance exam, and there are some very successful insurance brokers and agents out here, and I see my success because I just want to teach us that this is a form of wealth. Investing in stock. How do you think the rich get rich? It's not by working a job. There's caps on that. I've been making money since I was 12. I was ready to move out when I was 16. But because of the situation of, our community, my mother told me no. And y'all gonna laugh, but for you guys who know, the place I wanted to get was on Rosedale. And it was a cute little, I guess we called them efficiencies. Out here, they call them studios. Basically it's one room and, you have a bathroom. And I lived in one of those when I was out here for about a month. And let me tell you, it was an adventure. It really was. I've always dreamed of, going off to a city and just, becoming whoever it was I wanted to be. And the universe let me out here. Now, it let me out here through love, through romance. But the universe was like, ha, I got you. And now, I have to pour into myself. So I'm sitting here at home, and I just wanted to share with you guys some more of myself. I'm really looking forward to you guys opening up some dialogue, because I know we're all dealing with this. I, share my videos in a lot of, business groups, women's business groups out here, because this is where I am. I know I have Mad Love back home in Pittsburgh, but this is where my home is, and I'm trying to connect with our community out here. And it would be lovely if, our community in Pittsburgh would link up with me and get with this community out here. The NAACP is very involved out here in the Black community, and the Justice Committee does a lot. The NAACP's Justice Committee, does a lot to give information. And guys, I'm telling y'all, our kids, and I know why this is happening, our children, and I can't even say just African Americans, because it's in a lot of different races, but that's my culture, but out here we have a lot of Asians and Filipinos and Mexicans, and you can't tell what anybody is, even if you're my complexion. People assume I'm very Afrocentric, but honestly, I am universal. I love all cultures. I just happen to be raised within the Black community. And when I moved out on my own, I moved out of our community. More so because You know how it is in the hood. Nebbiness. People want to pop up at your house. I didn't want any of that, and I moved my family, out as far as I could so that I can still be, in touch with my family and my loved ones. But now I'm 2,000 miles away, guys. And it's time for me to really do what I was put here to do. No, not what I was put here to do, what I came here to do. Because I believe before I was, birthed through my mother's beautiful womb, that I made a conscious decision to come here and do a great work. I've always felt it. I've always been conscious of my surroundings, even as a very young baby. And I'm pretty sure some of you can relate, you know. And my mother couldn't. She would say things to me like, I can't believe you remember that. I was in diapers and I could remember conversations. My mother's like, you weren't no more than 1 or 2 years old. And I can tell you exactly what was said. And, oh, goodness. And I can tell you who said it. And it's not for this conversation, but geez, what we think our children aren't paying attention to. You would be surprised. And I'm pretty sure some of you know, but we continue to do it right in front of our children and expect them to live a life any better than ours. Getting good grades in school, having a nice career, making a lot of money has nothing to do with your spirit. And if we would get more, on a upper level of spirituality, then we would have that, that harmony in the world that we say we want. My baby, well, my oldest baby is messaging me now. But I'm at 21 minutes, guys. I'll be back. It's Sunday night. I got a lot of projects going on, and I know you guys heard me say it. I'm taking this life insurance exam, and working full time and trying to study for this exam has been tough. So I just keep postponing it, and I'm coming home, soon, within a week, and I have to take this exam before I leave. I have to. So I'm just going to go hard. My internet out here is a hot mess, but I'm just going to keep on pushing. And I mean, I always have. Raising my sons, raising kids isn't easy, and I would go through a lot with all of them. All of their personalities are different, but our children, I mean, if you're going to have children, then you should be there for your children. Just seeing some of these videos that people put up, the way we talk to our kids and expect them not to feel any type of way. We cuss out our kids, and I say we because I've done it. I don't do it anymore. And even spanked. Whoo, Lord, my oldest child. Anywho, but it didn't help. And I saw the wedge that it put in between me and my son. And with my younger two, I took a totally different approach. And I raised my niece, who is a young woman, and I didn't play any games about her. My mother would always tell me, because I had complaints about, my upbringing, and was very boisterous about it. And my mother's response was, well, you just make sure you do better than me. Break the generational curse. And she would tell me what these things was, and my mother would put history in front of me, and she's very educated. But we deal with a lot of, emotional baggage that we really don't need. Like right now, I'm going through a separation with my husband, and we're still friends. And even though, we would both, wish the world was such that, our relationship could work out, it doesn't fit us. So, I mean, we have to honor, what's true to us. And that means not even having sex. People tell themselves, oh, I need it. You don't need it. You don't need it. You need to, pour into yourself, one. And two, and I mean, to each their own. If you want to have sex with multiple people, that's cool. But people should know about it, and they should agree to it. But what I was getting to was, even though we're not together as a couple, this man supports me 1,000,000%. he has my back like it's hard to explain. It is a blessing to have him in my life. Um, I need him. Honestly, I mean, not need him, but things would be harder or more challenging if he didn't continue to take a responsibility for me, and vice versa, because I look out for him too. He started a business, I started a business, I help him with his business, he helps me with mine, and we're friends and we respect each other. But if I plan on, finding someone I'm meant to be with, I can't dilly-dally between bodies like that. I mean, you carry all that with you. Now, there are some people out here who that works for them, but it's not for everybody. So know who you are and really stick to your guns. I hear too many of us complain about our romantic relationships, but it is what we put into it, and it's sad. It's sad. I don't want to be that way. In my life, I had, a boyfriend when I was younger. My first boyfriend, I was probably about 5 years old, and it was just, I go with you, and then a boyfriend when I was 15 who I had my first child with, and then my best friend who became my boyfriend. And these relationships were very deep, but we didn't know who we were. So they didn't work out. I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major relationships. That's a lot, y'all. That is a lot, and they lasted for a very long time, 5 years, 3 of them, 5 years and 12 years. And then, with my husband, and thank God we had the experience and, the spiritual awakening to say, you know what? We're not going to do this to each other. I love you too much, and I want to see you happy. This is what I want. This is what I want. Let's go get our stuff. And this is why I'm a life coach, because I see a lot of people go through breakups and they can't even speak to their exes, and they're mean to them and they do things to hurt them. And it's just sad. Like, come on now. You don't care about yourself? We got people killing each other behind relationships not working out. And we know they're not working out. But you'll hurt someone because you're not happy. And then here's the state of our world. And this is why, honestly, it's not just the fact that I really don't know anyone here, but you have to be careful about who you connect yourself to. And I truly love my own company. I mean, I have so much going on in my house. So much. I can skate in my dining room. I work out. I got a big garage. I love to cook. I'm about to start making some videos because people keep asking me about vegan recipes, and it's so simple, y'all. It is so simple. I thought it was going to be something when, we first started, but honestly, I mean, instead of having bacon and eggs in the morning, because that is a very heavy meal, and it takes from your energy, and it puts weight on you. And the reason why it puts weight on you is because it's unhealthy and unnatural for us to eat those things. And that's why we, become overweight, because our body doesn't know what that stuff is. It's like, yeah, I wasn't designed for that. I'm going to sit that on over there. And then we wonder why we get love handles and we get the jiggle arm and, the cellulite and all types of stuff. I still have, certain things because I didn't get started until 3 years ago, y'all. And I was, oh my goodness. Anywho, I'm almost at 30 minutes and I want to get back to my studying. I didn't watch the Super Bowl today, y'all. I studied all day and I kept dozing off. Like, oh my goodness. And I don't know if y'all can hear this music in the background, but it's very soothing. It's cool when I'm not reading, but oh goodness. If there's nothing else going on around me, like, it's good for me to go to the library because then I can read and, the atmosphere keeps me alert. But being at home by myself, especially in the evening because I don't have my blinds open, it gets kind of tough to stay alert, and I don't drink any, coffee, stepped away from energy drinks. I just got to go off of, what I'm getting naturally. So I will take some Ginkgo Plus. My husband keeps me laced with the finest supplements, sea moss. Y'all have got to go get some sea moss from him. I'll share some information in the group. But yes, guys. And this is what I do. I am AsIAM Love. For those of you who know me, it's Marissa backwards, without the R. And it's as I am. And I am as I am. This is me. I hope y'all love me. I love y'all. And I am here to work with our children. You guys, especially here in Las Vegas. If you need help with your children, which a lot of us do, and we spend money on lesser things, I am very reasonable. Like, I am like the ultimate nanny. And I don't have to live with you. I just come visit you. It's like the ice cream man, except you got to call me. I'm like the Uber Eats of, I don't want to say child care, but child entertainment, child enlightenment, and we can have our conversations. And I can spend time with your kids. I know, I hope that doesn't sound weird, but, just like taking your kid to the community center, there's people there who work with your children, and, taking your child to child care. I love working with kids, and I love playing with them. I love imaginative play. And we have to, inspire an imagination in our children in order for them to be creative and innovative. A lot of our children are complacent. They're just sitting there watching the screen and they don't want to get up and do anything. And us as parents have to encourage that. But if you're that type of parent, and I know we are busy, then y'all need to be calling me. I will sit at your kitchen table, or you can bring your child over to my place. I have, a workshop where, I can teach them all types of stuff. If your kid needs to learn how to tie their shoe, do their hair, braid their hair, you want them to learn how to sew. I do all types of stuff. I'm a jack of all trades. And people say, jack of all trades, master of none. Jack of all trades, master of everything, and I just love doing everything. A lot of our kids don't cook. It's too much of a hassle for us to, take the time to show our children how to peel a potato, how to stew tomatoes. I make my own tomato sauce. I make my own salad dressings. I make my own skincare products. And it's because I need them, not so much that I want to sell them, which I do. My own lip balms, my own healing creams. I do it all. Haven't perfected the gel. That's something I'm going to look into. But yeah, whatever it is, that you guys need as far as your children are concerned. If you need a helping hand, I am your third hand. I am your fourth hand. And that's what I do. I do life coaching, but that is life coaching. A lot of times we look at life coaching as kind of like therapy, but I roll with you. I roll with you. I walk through whatever it is with you. Anywho, I'm over 33 minutes. I'm going to get out of here. I love you guys. Please reach out. Please communicate. And y'all be blessed.